Hello, spacers and speculators. My name is TB Skyn, and welcome back to Mass Effect 3, where we are on a never-ending quest to go to all of the planets in the solar system in order to scam them. Mostly. Also save the galaxy at some point. Maybe, if I feel like it. But, you know, maybe I won't feel like it. Maybe just having enough fun, just flying around to random solar systems to check if their planets have things on them. Maybe that's good enough for me. Maybe I don't need a higher purpose in life. We can investigate the Asari colony. I don't want to... Oh, man, both of those are really good missions, but it is the Mass Effect 3 thing of knowing that if I go somewhere to a place, the story is going to progress, and then, like, some things will happen. And maybe I want to hang out a little bit more. Maybe I don't want those things to happen.
You're cleared to dock, Normandy. Do you need ground transport?
No, I'll just start from one end and run through the entire Citadel in order to return if I've picked up a thing. Or if there's some procedural conversation that's spawned.
You're sure of what you saw?
Yes, Sergeant.
Heard from your brother since then?
No, Sergeant.
All right, Talavi. I'll see if I can get you fighting Reapers instead of Cerberus.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. You won't thank me so much when you're eye-deep in husks.
I'm determined not to miss more of them.
If you're feeling up to it, I thought we could do something fun for a change.
Right. Oh, right. Oh. Well, okay. I'll be back in a minute, Garrus.
Recognized.
Yes, we will do that. I completely forgot about that.
Now arriving at Docking Bay E-24, emergency civilian housing.
Cerberus forces from killing the council.
I quite like that.
Placement has been selected for
The Batarian comforting the human woman. Because so much... Hey, Ashley. So much is made... Hey, Ashley. So much is made of... Like, the game so far has... Like, the series basically casts the Batarians as space bad guys. They're just like space evil dudes. They do slavery. They're kind of monstrous and greedy and shitty and just like evil and ugly at the same time, which is the unforgivable sin. Unlike the Asari, which are like, yeah, some of them are a little mean, but they're all hot, which means they can't be all bad, right? Like, the two previous games especially have very much cast the Batarians as a fairly unnuanced, just like evil guys who are in space. Mass Effect 3 makes more of an effort to sort of humanize them a little bit. Ironic choice of words, I know. Like, to sort of cast them as like, hey, no, actually, these are complex living things that, like, aren't just... Like, they have an awful culture, maybe, but, you know, they're people. Hey, Ash.
Commander, thanks for coming.
This must be really hard on your sister. I'm very sorry for her loss.
It's tough to see her go through this. Damn it. There I go again.
I hope Sarah can find some peace here.
Couldn't even give Ashley's sister a unique model?
I'm glad I can be here for her. She wanted me to say something about her family. Wanted Thomas to hear it.
You need to be strong for Sarah now.
You're right. I'm so proud of her. She's no career soldier, but there she is, coping with all this. Reminds me of Dad. Whatever was going on, he put a smile on his face for us.
Your family made you what you are.
He did his best with 4 daughters and a strong wife. He always said live fire exercises was good prep for facing his girly horde.
Your sister's waiting. You'll be fine.
Right. Here we go. Okay. Remember the trip to the beach the summer before I left for basic training?
it really is a thing of like, it is a little disappointing that Ash's sister just gets like generic human and with literally the exact same hairdo as the one over here. Like, my God. It is one of those things that are like, as we've talked about many times before, the production limitations of a game like Mass Effect 3, like the sheer scale and size of it. And then BioWare has since come out under this permanent crunch culture where everything was rushed out at the last minute because of BioWare magic. Channeling James Stephanie Sterling there for a second. Like, you can see that. Like, you can see it in the games, like all these corners that had to be cut. Like things where I'm 100% convinced that the people who wrote this scene would have wanted for Ashley's sister to have, you know, a line of dialogue or a unique character model that kind of looks like Ashley, so you can see some family resemblance or some contrast between them or something. But instead, it's just like we have a generic NPC. Just put it in there. Just stand there and like cycle through some generic cry animation or whatever. And that's it. That's all Ashley really gets for her, like, this. And this is the thing about Ashley is, like, her character, as if you remember back to Mass Effect 1, she's so much about her family, right? It's like, it's the core of her is that she has this military family, she has all this legacy that she feels like she has to live up to. And that's also kind of where her racism comes from. Like, it's because she has this... She's been instilled with this, like, military family honor code kind of thing where, like, oh, well, the aliens attacked us, and that means they're the bad guys. Like, it sort of comes from that, and it comes from this deep psychological obsession with defending the family. Like, doesn't matter what against, just need to defend the family, and if there isn't something to defend them against, invent something. Invent a threat that you can then, like, defend them against. Which is like, a very true psychology. It's the way that a lot of people sort of get sort of slipped sideways into bigotry, is because they grow up in this mindset of like, well, if you're a real man or if you're a real, like, you need to defend your family. You need to defend them. They need defense all the time. Defend your family from things. Like this threat mindset where there has to be a threat somewhere that you can defend your family from because that's what you're supposed to do. But anyway, like that's part of Ashley's character, is that she has this family complex, like this real complex about her relationship to her sisters, to her father, to like just to her whole family legacy. And then we get this cutscene where we finally get to meet one of her family members, and it's generic Mech White NPC number 43, with no expression and no voice lines, right? And that's, you can see that the crunch is happening.
I'll meet you back aboard the Normandy.
Hey.
Oh. Hey, it's you. Still waiting, I see. Any news?
No, but they promised, right? They'll get here soon.
I'm sure they will. I'll drop by later to check in on you, if that's okay.
Okay.
Hey, Kelly.
I heard about the horrible things Cerberus did during the coup. That's not the organization I joined.
I'm sorry, Kelly, but it really, really, really desperately, deeply is. Like, very much so it is. It's just they weren't quite being open about it yet. Oh, hey, Zaeed.
What the hell are you looking at?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. I just had to go and pick him up.
Wondered if you'd show up, Shepard. Figured you'd be too busy recruiting goddamn armies for this war you're in charge of.
I could always use more help.
I'll bet. I've seen footage of what happened on Earth. Tell you what, I'll see if some old contacts of mine are still around. Can't promise you anything, but if enough of them are still breathing, I can lend a hand.
Do you know the current leader of the Suns?
Vosk? Don't remind me. Little scumbag shot his mouth off on a patrol mission once. Got half his squad killed. Real popular after that. We couldn't boot him from the Suns fast enough. Should have ended his tenure with a bullet.
Anyhow, enough about my armor. Let's find the gang and celebrate while I'm still here. Where'd you park?
I took rapid transit.
Come on, you have the fanciest ride on the Citadel. And I saw that new paint job.
I sold it a couple of weeks ago.
What? But you love that car.
I know.
You never shut up about that car.
I know.
Take the hint, my dude. What do you think she sold it for?
I'm not skinny, the Alliance.
Since when are you so chummy with those tricks?
Screw you. You've been watching the news.
Sure.
Know what's happening to Earth while we're sitting here?
Calm down already.
Yeah, see, because like patriotism, we like it when patriotism. Yay. One thing to note is that of the cultures from Earth that are represented here, notice that they're all, you know, like, so this is a interesting part of the production history, actually, of Mass Effect, is that one of the original controversies around Mass Effect, I say controversies with a big air quotes around it, because it really fucking wasn't, but one of the things was, it was sort of supposed to be set in a post-racial future, right? Like a future so far into the future that pretty much like everyone on Earth at this point is mixed race, right? So like that like essentially sort of saying that the period of white supremacy is sort of over, right? That was sort of the idealistic conception that they had, but like there's like Jacob, who's like obviously a person of color for crewmates, and then like Ashley Williams is sort of like maybe ambiguously something like mixed race something or others, like in terms of the way that the characters are coded anyway. But like mostly, like you can make a black shepherd if you want to, but all of the characters are English speaking. They mostly have American accents, occasionally British. And there's no real hint of like cultural backgrounds that would mimic anything other than a sort of generic standard. Like when we talk about Earth in this game, and ties into the thing we've talked about before with how this game is so much a reaction to 9/11. We're talking about America. like we're talking about America. We're not talking about like Tanzania. We're not talking about India. We're not talking about Borneo. We're talking about America. We're talking about North America. Like it's an American game from an American perspective, and that American perspective shines through in a lot of places. Like for example, the idea that the majority of human NPCs in the game would be white, which is a very sort of Western American European idea, and that culture. Like human culture as a whole would reflect American culture, and you see that, for example, in the very intro scene, like when we're dealing with the Alliance Council, and like all of that is steeped in a specifically like the Alliance Council, the Alliance High Command, whatever, the people who get blown to bits in the start of the game. All of that is built so much around, and the entire Alliance as a military structure is built so much around the U.S. military, and we saw that like in the bar scene when we were with James, where he did that thing of like, who's like us, damn few, like that's such a fucking U.S. Marine Corps kind of thing with like those salutes and callbacks and shit. There are different military cultures on Earth. Like many nations have different military cultures. Like a Chinese military culture in this game would look very different. Like if that was the basis from which it was drawn. Ashley Williams also, like being this military family, being this military brat, that is such an American archetype. We don't really have that in Denmark in the same way. Like we have a different military culture. It's associated with different things. It's associated with a different kind of cultural background. And the same thing for Britain. Like, and so the Americanness of Mass Effect shines through, even though it had these lofty ambitions. Like it had these ideals of being, like trying to envision a future that is, you know, cosmopolitan, where all of Earth has sort of united under one government, where we have become like truly one people. But it turns out that one people is Americans, which is like one of the criticisms of Mass Effect that's very, very valid, is that its vision of the future, its vision of like the sci-fi space future that we're all hopefully headed towards is grounded so much in present reality, as all sci-fi is. Like all sci-fi is grounded in present reality, but it's one of those things that it's worth being aware of, that this dude standing here with that rifle in that position, like keeping that, like that is, again, like it's drawn from what the military looks like today, here, now. Even though that rifle there, like what kind of safety does that thing have? Who knows? How does it work exactly? Well, it's an assault rifle. Like, we're a couple of hundred years into the future with impossible space technology drawn from, like, the legacy of precursor peoples who had tens of thousands of years of technological advancement before us, but it's still, you know, an M16. It's even called an M1 Avenger. Like, it's even named after, like, the M line of assault rifles. And it's one of those things that's just, like, it's just worth being conscious of that when you assess a glorious space future like what Mass Effect is presenting, is that it's never neutral. Like, it's never drawn from nowhere. It's always specifically pulled from something that is present in the real world, and that comes with biases, that comes with proclivities, that comes with tendencies. Like, those biases where something, for example, like the idea, like, that's also a bias, that to me feels very American, is that the Alliance is a military organ. Like, the Alliance has an army, the Alliance has a fleet, and the Alliance is primarily constructed as a military organization. We really never see the civilian government of the Alliance. We only see the civilian government of the Citadel, which is the Citadel Council, and they too have paramilitary organizations that they just sort of throw around, the Spectres specifically. But that also, to me, feels like a very American bias, this idea of, like, yeah, no, Earth is ruled essentially by its military and its government are, and the power structures of those two things are completely intertwined. Like, Admiral Anderson and, like, and Hackett are essentially the political, like, Hackett essentially, in terms of the way that the game casts its various political figures, Hackett, being the Grand Admiral of the human fleet, is essentially the president, right? Like, he's essentially the human leader. There isn't, like, a civilian elected office that you ever talk to in the human government. There's no actual elected leader that we ever interact with. We only have the command structure of the military, and that is what the Alliance is. Like, so this militarization of society is just unremarked upon. It's something that Mass Effect never touches or questions or even deals with in any way whatsoever. It's just, no, yeah, that's obviously in the glorious space future where we're post-national and post-racial and post all of that. Yeah, no, the military still runs the government. The military has to run the government, you know, because there's space and there's aliens and, like, wow, there was a first continent, so obviously the military has to run the space government, right? It's just so unquestioned, and that to me, again, feels very American. Like, not that America is the only country that would have a culture that would sort of default to the idea that the military should run things, but it feels like a very American thing to have that be such an unquestioned good that, no, yeah, the military should run things. As we've talked about, this game fucking loves the troops, and is not willing to question them in any way.
You sure you don't want to do something a little more exciting?
I love this part of the Presidium. It reminds me of where I grew up.
Where's that?
Armali, back on Thessia. My mother and I lived beside a park. I spent hours there.
Doing what?
Reading, exploring, getting in trouble digging for ruins in the grass.
You're kidding.
I was very young.
It's hard to imagine Matriarch Benezia as a nice mother, but, you know, that's part of the point of her character, is that she changes so drastically. It's a pity we never get to see her before the change.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cute.
No one else thought it was funny. Oh, the lecture my mother gave me. But she did buy me my first history book the next day. I miss her, Shepard.
That's the other thing, is, like, notice just how much what Liara describes, that's just a human childhood. Like, oh yeah, I had a house and then I was in the garden, like in the backyard digging in the grass because I was interested in archaeology. That is just a human upbringing. Like, the Asari are these space matriarch sex aliens from the planet Thessia, way the hell out, like ancient race, even older than humans. But what she's describing is just a human childhood, right?
What was she like?
She was confident and kind. She loved to wear yellow. I thought she was the most beautiful woman in the world.
You'll be okay, Liara.
Maybe you're right. Thank you, Shepard. I feel better. I wish we could spend more time together like this. Just friends.
It'd be nice. And who knows? Maybe you'll settle down after this.
You don't really see me going into civilian life, do you?
No. But I guess that's one more reason we should keep in touch.
Someone to share a few secrets with now and then.
You got it.
And there's nothing wrong, I should stress, with it, that kind of coding, right? There's nothing wrong with having a glorious space future where the military runs things. Like, that's not... I mean, I do have some ideological problems with that, but that's not like a sin. That's not evil. It's not like nefarious or whatever. It's just... It's a bias. Like, it's a frame of reference. It's a frame of creation and interpretation, and you have to be conscious of it.
The clutch is stabilized? Really? That is wonderful news, my sister. You wish to name the first hatched after the one who helped us?
Oh, no.
That's a wonderful idea.
Oh, no. Oh, no. We had another person named after us.
Now arriving at Presidium Embassy.
And C-Sec forces have killed the last invader.
Hell of a view, isn't it?
During our war, this place became a myth to my people. A dream glimpsed only in the memory shards. The Citadel was both the heart of our civilization and its demise.
The Reapers hit here first, didn't they?
No one I knew had ever seen the Citadel. To be here now, I don't know what to think.
It might not seem like much, but a Prothean is standing on the Citadel alive. That's a victory in itself.
Perhaps. When things were at their darkest, we used to tell stories, imagining the wonders of this place. The seat of our empire. The power to sway worlds. The galaxy belonged to us.
Nowadays, a lot of races have embassies here.
It's true then. You share power with the rest?
It's not perfect, but it's kept the peace. Most of the time.
Pardon me. This one has been listening. This one suspects you are a Prothean.
Ehana, I remember your kind when you were still minnows in the ocean.
This one is unworthy. This one has seen the face of an enkindler.
They consider your kind to be their gods.
A pity we did not teach them to speak better.
Jesus, Javik!
You're really a Prothean?
I am.
But... if you lost the last war, what hope do we have?
For many, there may be no hope.
He's so good at this.
The Reapers killed trillions in my cycle. The odds of being among the living are remote.
I don't think that's gonna work.
But you are still alive now. That alone is a miracle. And you still have the power to fight. My people knew your kind when you were young. Turian, Asari, Hana. There was potential in all of you. Now you must seize that potential and become the weapon you are meant to be. The weapon that tells the Reapers we are not machines. We are alive, and we will fight back.
Thank you. That meant a lot. Commander Shepard, it must be an honor to have a Prothean fighting alongside you.
He is kind of scary, but will play nice.
He's starting to learn his way around. Javik is one of the best soldiers I've ever seen.
The commander is a capable warrior as well. For a human who once lived in caves. Thank you, Commander. I've enjoyed my time here, walking among the young. I will see you back on the Normandy.
He was literally just about to be like, "You are all going to die! You will perish in glorious infamy!" Grumpy old dumbass.
Perhaps you could send the girl to your side of the family.
Are you kidding? My family disowned me when I married Nyota. Wanna guess why?
Oh my.
They'd be happier to see those Cerberus assholes than they would be to see me.
I understand why you would not wish to send your daughter to them.
Yeah, well, your understanding doesn't help me or my daughter much right now.
Dark?
Good to see you're all right, Shepard.
Miranda, what's going on?
Couldn't meet in person. The Citadel is too dangerous right now. I heard about the attempted coup.
Yeah, with Kai Leng's help, Udina nearly seized control.
I hate Kai Leng.
Kai Leng? That slippery bastard's still alive?
Don't talk!
He's alive and right in the middle of all this.
That complicates things. I'll be on my guard. Look, I don't have much time, but I learned what happened to my sister.
Where is she?
I don't know that yet, but my father was definitely responsible. If he's done anything to her, I'll kill him.
Miranda.
Shepard, listen. I'm being hunted by Cerberus assassins. A lot of them. I need to stay out of sight.
What? Why?
I heard a rumor, maybe more, that my father is working on something for the elusive man. Something big.
I am resentful that Miranda, like Shepard says, yeah, he was helped by Kai Leng, and she's like, Kai Leng, that person who I know, who's definitely been part of my life up before now, even though never mentioned him in Mass Effect 2. Fuck off! Like, stop trying to make Kai Leng a thing. He's not gonna happen.
Why would your father be working with the elusive man? Especially now.
My father is ruthless about preserving his legacy.
Legacy?
He has an obsession with making his mark in history, ensuring his dynasty lasts forever.
And you think the elusive man made him an offer?
Exactly.
Whatever's going on with your father can't be good. We have to figure this out.
I agree, but I need to do this myself. It's time I stopped running from him.
You're sure?
Yes. I can't think straight until I know Ori is safe.
Be careful.
I can't promise that, Shepard. Could you?
Fair point.
No. I couldn't.
Now arriving at Huerta Memorial Hospital.
She's got this glow. And the Reapers. They did to her what they do to everyone. She's covered in... I don't know. Glowing. She reaches out. Her eyes go black. And she touches one of the farmers, and he just... dies. They panic. She rips them apart. Sometimes touching, sometimes opening them up with biotics. The humans are turning into... liquid. And I'm there, in my towel with no gun. And husks start pouring through the door.
Goddess.
So I ran.
I mean, yeah, that's the right thing to do, frankly.
Knowles, this is Shepard. I found one of the code locations.
Okay, I'll shut it down. Just need to authorize your Spectre status. Someone used this to cut off power to a dozen life support machines in the hospital. Okay, that access code is officially disabled. Can you find any more?
I forgot about that, but I guess I can give it a shot. Let's run around and disable the person who's murdering people. That would be good. Let's stop some murders. Let's do that.
Hey, Shepard. I'm glad to see you. I know things are crazy right now.
Exactly. So you have to take the moments when you can. It was interesting to meet Bryn. How is she?
She's great, actually. It's good to see her work without the distraction of having to worry about the colony.
And you and her?
We're having a baby, Shepard.
Wow. Congratulations.
Wasn't exactly planned, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna be a better father than mine was. Do the whole thing right. It's,
One more thing to fight for.
You got that right. Bryn wants to name it after you.
See what I mean?
Really?
Yeah. Shepard.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Shepard is just like...
I'm gonna talk her out of it. No offense.
None taken.
Good.
Shepard is just always having babies named after her. Just all the time.
What's going on with the Crucible?
That project is crazy. Freaking huge. And all these brilliant minds are working night and day trying to figure it out. I wish you could see them. Heads down, piecing it together. It's something to see. We'll get this Crucible built, Shepard. And then, we'll win this thing. I feel it. Do you feel it?
I feel it.
Sure. I feel it. And I'm counting on you and everyone there. Get it done.
Believe it.
Datte bayo!
So what's going on with you? You still like what you're doing?
Things are good. I'm good.
Still not tempted to come back to the Normandy?
Always tempted, Shepard. But no.
So, you working on the Crucible?
Don't get me wrong. I'm smart, but not that smart. Hackett keeps me busy, though.
How's he doing?
Holding up. If they make old guys any tougher than that, I'd like to see it.
I'm glad we had time to talk.
Me too. Gotta take the moments when you can. So true. And Shepard, thanks again for getting my people out alive.
Take care, Jacob.
You too, Shepard. I'm thinking about you out there. Stay safe.
No, Private.
Knowles, I found another spot where the Batarian codes were used.
Holy crap. These are the remote navigation codes. Last week's crash at the docks, we thought it was an accident. Shepard, there were 117 Alliance soldiers on that ship. All human. Just like the patients at the hospital.
Just let me know when you're
So we've
ready
got
to take a
Batarian
break.
codes and someone with a grudge against humans.
Looks like... okay. This code's offline now as well. Should just be one left, Commander.
Cool. Okay, where would that be?
Destination. One moment, please.
Attempts to take control of the Citadel have failed, and C-Sec
Hey there.
forces have killed the last invading
Looking
forces.
mighty low today. You okay? Anyone been bothering you?
Containing a cure
No,
to the Genophage,
it's not that.
leaders have
I'm
announced
fine.
an alliance with
Ah,
Turian
I
military
see.
against the Reapers.
So, any news?
No. They just...
Lieutenant Commander
Their shuttle must be real slow, that's all.
Yeah.
Do you think they're okay? They promised they'd come and get me, no matter what they had to do. But it's been so long.
I don't know,
has
kid.
been selected for the position
I'm sure they'd be happy knowing you're safe.
who died
It's just-
assisting Cerberus in an
I
attempt
miss
to
them.
coup against the Council.
I miss them so much.
Heavy losses
Everything's fine, kid. Don't worry about it. Everything will be okay, thank God. Don't have to go all over the Citadel for it.
Knowles, this is where the last access code was used.
What's that, Commander? I'm losing your signal.
Shepard,
Hey, Balak.
Balak.
you should have killed me on that asteroid over Terra Nova. I've been waiting for this. Everything that has happened to my people is your fault.
If you remember him, he's like a Batarian terrorist guy who held some humans hostage, and you had to make a decision between saving the hostages or killing him, and we decided to save the hostages because Shepard is a goody two-shoes.
All I did was stop you at Terra Nova.
Yes. After you ruined my plans, my government accelerated research efforts on the Leviathan of Dis. Have you heard of it, Commander? The ancient organic dreadnought my people recovered from Jartar 20 years ago? Sound familiar?
A Reaper. Your people were studying a Reaper corpse.
Yes. Looking for a way to reclaim our place as the true power of the galaxy. Hundreds of our best scientists were enlisted.
And then they became indoctrinated.
When the Reapers reached Karshan, our own people betrayed us. Defense grids were deactivated. Ships fired on Allied targets. We were destroyed from within because of you.
I mean, blame yourselves a little bit, but also blame the Reapers, dude.
I didn't destroy your people, Balak. The Reapers did that.
We were a proud race. A beautiful race. Have you seen what the Reapers have done to us? I'm trapped on this Citadel. Our warships only know the locations of Reaper forces because I've tapped Council transmissions. I am the highest-ranking military officer left in the hegemony, and I can't save my people. But I can end you.
Kill him. Shall we give him a rousing speech, or shall we just say, toughen up, shithead? I feel like it would be more in character for Shepard with this guy to, like, kick his ass a little bit.
You're not gonna pull that trigger. You know what I'm doing out here.
Yes, forging alliances with the Turians, the Krogan. Killing you will tear all the other races apart.
And then the Reapers wipe out the last of your warships, the last of your people. And you know that. That's why you'll join us. We're all you have left.
I could kill you. I could do it right now. Ah! Our ships are yours.
Shepard, are you all right?
You didn't want to do
Fine.
something about the guy pointing a gun
You
at
won't have
me?
any more trouble with those codes.
Is that... Do you want me to arrest him?
I want you to put a bullet in his head. We're all making some sacrifices today. Let him go. Spectre authority.
Understood, Commander. And thanks.
It's just, there was a guard right there! Right there! He was looking in my direction! Right there, and dude, like fucking the guy was pointing a gun at the back of my head and what the okay, yeah, nice job guarding shit, asshole. I'm kidding, of course. He's an NPC, he doesn't have agency.
Now arriving at docking bay D.
Shepard, glad you came.
What'd you have in mind?
Something that doesn't involve fighting Reapers.
I don't think they've conquered the bar yet.
I already scoped it out. But then I thought, if this was my last day alive, I'd actually like to remember it.
So?
So, I had an idea.
My friend Moose played Mass Effect for the first time, and she got so hot for Garrus. Like, wow. Very much.
Where are we going?
Somewhere we're not supposed to.
Now you're talking.
And
ever have that one thing you always wanted to do before you died, Shepard?
I've woken up with a Turian next to me.
Still trying to make me blush, huh?
Until it works. So what's your one thing?
The whole time I worked at CSEC, I'd stare up at the top of the Presidium and say to myself, I want to go up there. But I never did. There were 137 regulations telling me I couldn't.
So you got them changed?
No. Now I just don't give a damn.
And like when they just faded to black before any kind of sexual activity happened between Shepard and Garrus in Mass Effect 2, she got so mad.
Figured it's time to do something stupid just for the hell of it. Might be the last chance we ever get.
It's incredible.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't hope it would inspire a certain mood.
Something on your mind?
It seemed like you needed time to figure us out. Are you ready to be a one Turian kind of woman?
You can still turn him down even at this point, which is so dumb. But yeah, like my friend, she got so pissed when the love scene between Shepard and Garrus just ends with them like putting their foreheads together, which is like romantic, but also like not, maybe not what anyone was wanting from the human-alien romance scene in this game, compared especially to like all the blue ass that you get with Liara. And then she got to this thing, which is the love scene in Mass Effect 3, and she's like, "Oh my god, are we gonna bang out here up in the top?" And it like turns out, no, that's unfortunately not what's gonna happen. Anyway, my Shepard loves Garrus.
The only thing that made leaving Earth bearable was knowing you were out there somewhere.
I felt the same way. The worst part about the galaxy going to hell would have been never getting to see you again.
Well, here I am. Exactly where I want to be. I love you, Garrus Vicarian.
Wow. The vids Joker gave me, well, they never got this far. There was the part about sleeping together, but this is... I don't know exactly what to do.
Who needs a vid when you've got me?
Now, before we head back, there is one thing we're going to settle, once and for all. I'm not saying you don't know how to handle a gun, just saying some of us know how to make it dance. So, let's find out who's really the best shot.
There are a few people in the galaxy who've seen me in action, Garrus. They seemed impressed.
Yeah, but I've actually seen you dance, Shepard. No comment.
All right, Vicarian, you're going down.
And don't worry, I loaded it with practice slugs for when you miss. That was an easy one. Let you build up your confidence. Long range, I wrote the book. Nobody alive can do this, not even Commander Shepard. Give me a tough one. I said a tough one.
Step aside.
Miss on purpose or shoot target. We don't let Garrus get away with that shit.
Do it. Nobody alive, maybe. But technically, I died.
Yeah, well, next time we'll throw in a herd of rampaging cliques, and that's how you separate the rookies from the pros.
We're not giving him an easy win. Fuck that. But no, yeah, again, like getting to this scene, she was kind of disappointed that there was no open air banging. And I genuinely don't know if the reason why they didn't have more explicit love scenes between Garrus and Shepard were that they didn't really know how to animate, like they didn't know how to make the models, and because Garrus doesn't have a model that is out of armor. Like there isn't a Turian Garrus out of armor model. Like even, and you see that even with like civilian Turians when they're going around, even when they're not like in military uniform or whatever, they still have those big cowls of armor. They just have like different texture on them so that they look sort of civilian or clothes like. But there is no Garrus out of armor model at all. They haven't made one, and so they I guess they didn't want to make a whole new one just for the love scene, so you don't really get anything there. But it could also just be because. Well, because ratings boards are like, oh yeah, blue human, like a human ass that's just blue, fine, that's fine. Like that bumps it up to a teen rating or whatever. But if you actually fuck something that isn't human, ooh, no, love scene with something that isn't human, that's bestiality. Like it might be something like that some ratings boards somewhere would consider, like where some ratings boards would consider like banging an alien essentially a kind of bestiality, and therefore would bump it up to like either outlaw it and make it illegal,
Spectre status recognized.
or else bump it up to like mature or adults only rating kind of thing, because of what it depicts. Who knows? Like it's impossible to say. But it is one of the things that's really like for the people who are really into Garrus. I'm definitely not one of them. Not me. I don't know why you'd think that. It is a disappointing thing that, like, the romance between Garrus and Shepard doesn't get to be half as explicit as the romance between Shepard and Liara.
Commander?
Okay. Is that everything? I think it's everything we can do in the Citadel right now. So, yeah. Guess we go and see if anyone has anything new to say. I don't think they will. Maybe Garrus does, actually. Are you two still here?
Hey, Commander.
Don't mind us. Just telling James here what it means to be a real soldier.
Okay. Then, I'm looking at the time count on this episode already. A lot of it is going to be cut out because it's just me running from place to place, but I think actually we might not have time to do a mission in this episode. So, yeah, okay, we don't have time to do a mission in this, so I'm just going to cut the episode here. No shooty bang bang gun action for you. But if you have enjoyed hanging out in the world of Mass Effect 3 with me, you can hit the like, comment, and or subscribe buttons down below. They'll let you know when more episodes are coming out. You can become a member of the channel, which will give you early access to at least 4 or 5 of these episodes before they come out for the general public. I have a Patreon and a merchandise store and a tip store, jar and all of those things also. You can use them if you want to, but you don't have to. Thanks for watching. Remember to be kind to one another. Have solidarity with those who are worse off than yourselves. And may the tides of history wash gently over us all.